Hi everybody, I'm Clayton Crispim and this is Gringos Who Can Speak Portuguese Part 2. So first of all, sorry if I speak quite low, okay? It's because I'm recording this video quite late, it's a quarter to 2 a.m. yes. So this is the time I found to record this video. So sorry if I'm speaking too low. It's because I don't want problem with my neighbors whatsoever, alright? But hopefully it's okay because it's very quiet here today. So in the first episode, the first part of Gringos Who Can Speak Portuguese, I was talking about Gavin from Small Advantages, and during that video, he was talking about a contribution with another gringo who can speak Portuguese as well, and she's called Jackie, and she has a YouTube channel called Ask Jackie, and I was explaining that in that video. Okay, so you just here. So you just check here the first video. So I was telling that I was intending to do the second part with Jackie. I will try to keep the same mode, the same format that I did in the previous video that I didn't explain, and after finishing the video and during the edition, I just thought, I forgot to tell what I try to do every time I try to show you a gringo who can speak Portuguese. It's trying to keep the format and how they learned the idiom. The second, they speaking. Okay, a video of they speaking the language they learned, in this case Portuguese, of course. And the third one, something interesting about them concerning Portuguese. So for example, Gavin, I think the first part was him explaining how he learned Portuguese, that he was giving some tips, some suggesting some books and some apps and something. And the second part was him speaking Portuguese and then talking about this contribution with Jackie. And the third one, it was his singing Legião Urbana. Okay, so if you want to know what I'm talking about, check it here, alright? And now I'm gonna keep the same. I will try to do the same with Jackie. So let's see first of all how Jackie learned Portuguese. Okay, so let's see together. And yes, she speaks Portuguese really well as well.
So before I started studying Portuguese, I had an advanced level of Spanish, which was a really big advantage because Portuguese and Spanish are both Latin languages.
Again, Portuguese and Spanish, they are both Latin language. They came from the vulgar Latin. That was the language that the Roman soldiers, if you correct me if I'm wrong, the Roman soldiers, they used to speak this vulgar Latin. So that's why they're so similar. And I think for people who are fluent in Spanish, but they are not native Spanish speakers, maybe it's easier. It at least is a start, when it comes to learn Spanish, when it comes to learn Portuguese. So that's, I think, makes life easier. Anyways, but coming back, the comparison, they are very similar, and I think it makes maybe easier for them, which is funny because, as I said before as well, for native Spanish speakers, it's really hard for them to speak Portuguese. But if a non-native Spanish speaker learns Portuguese, they think it's easier, so it's very interesting, so let's keep on watching.
So there were a lot of similarities. So that was definitely an advantage. However, I took my first Portuguese class when I was 28 years old, which is a little bit old, I think. And I had no exposure to Portuguese before this class. Or maybe I had, but I would never have recognized someone speaking Portuguese on the street. I knew nothing, not even oi, ciao, nothing, okay? So I decided to start taking Portuguese classes to prepare myself for a trip to Brazil for Carnival. So some friends of mine and we took a beginner group class at a school called Brazil in Chicago, and our teacher was Marcelo Jarmandia. Thank you, Marcelo, you are wonderful, so great. And it was a lot of fun. And for those of you who are starting out a new language, I highly recommend finding a teacher, especially if you are a complete beginner, to guide you, to really teach you the basics, the phonetics, the grammar, the structure.
Yes, and again, comparing, with my learning English, because unlike her, I had a contact with English before. I mean, we are riddled, with English culture because of the movies and the music. But I mean, talking about learning English, I started learning English when I was 11. But even though, I had maybe 2 classes a week at school, and it wasn't enough because I wasn't speaking English outside the school, so it wasn't enough anyway. So, but if she's right, you really have to go. You really have to go really deep into the grammar and the phonetics, the pronunciation. You have to start, building up your skills in listening, writing, speaking, mainly, because of course you have to, to speak up. You have to show yourself your ability to communicate in a language that is not your native tongue. You should consider this, and I should consider this, if I really want to learn Spanish anyway. So let's keep on watching.
And find a teacher that speaks your language as well. I could not imagine taking classes with someone who didn't speak English when I was first starting out. So that's my recommendation. So when I first came to Brazil, it was for Carnival in 2009. This was the first time I finally got to practice my Portuguese. And it was really exciting. I knew very little still at the time, but I felt really motivated because I was hearing it a lot. I was learning a lot about the culture. I was learning more about the music, and just being immersed in the Brazilian culture really just made me fall even more in love with the language, which I also think is so important when we're studying something. We end up spending so much time on it, and if it's not something that we at least like, it becomes a really kind of negative process. So I really recommend that you also learn about the culture, really fall in love with the country, the people, the language, and get out and practice. Even as a beginner, it's fun to try practicing with other people and test out what you know.
The nicest about this series, Gringos Who Can Speak Portuguese, is because I like to comment over it and kind of react, or react to what she's saying, and it's really a nice, exchange of ideas, because I can compare, what she's saying, what she experienced with my own experience, learning English, because I learned English before, but when I came here to Ireland, it was a totally different, pronunciation, especially, my listening for the Irish accent wasn't good, because they have a very peculiar accent and they tend to speak really fast. One of the things that really I liked beforehand, before coming here, is the ability of Irish people to communicate. So, and the culture is amazing. They are very rich and a very ancient country, so full of history, and I love history. So yes, she's absolutely right. If you if you don't like the language, if you don't like the culture, you know, because for example in my case, yeah, I came to Ireland. I didn't go to the United States in the first place, for example. But if you like to speak in English, but if you are more attached to a North American culture than an European culture, so you should consider going there and not coming here. So because maybe you wouldn't feel, happy. Yeah, okay, you're learning a language, but you might struggle with the culture, with the accent, you know. So then it wouldn't be a good experience, anyways. Yeah. So let's keep watching. I think now, yeah, she's gonna speak Portuguese. So let's hear Jackie speaking Portuguese, and she speaks really well, really well. And I'm very happy with that. So let's just go back a little bit. Yeah.
Hello and welcome. Eu sou a Jackie do canal Ask Jackie e hoje eu vou falar para vocês sobre vários micos, na verdade 3 micos que eu paguei em português e os 3 micos mais engraçados que eu já ouvi em inglês. E pagar mico, gente, faz parte de aprender outro idioma, não é para sentir vergonha ou para sentir mal. Na verdade, a gente só tem que dar risada e aprender com nossos micos.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not showing the full video, because again, I want you to go there and watch her videos, okay? I'm gonna put the suggestion here, I'm gonna put here in the description, so you go there and watch the full video, right? And yeah, well, especially this video, you know, she's talking about the micos. Micos, it's a funny situation. It's a Brazilian slang for funny situations, you know, when you say something, you know, thinking in your own language. It sounds funny because it's not necessarily the same translation. Let me think about an example. Yeah, let me just think. Oh my goodness. I could pick one of her examples, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise anyways. Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use one of her examples, but if she was saying, for example, Brazil, because on her video, on this video, she's saying the funny situations, I mean, the micos that you did as a student and she did. So, but in that video, she was saying one of the funny situations regarding one of her Brazilian students, or a Brazilian student anyways. For us, for example, if you're going to buy an ice cream, if you go to a I don't know, ice cream shop. Sorry, no, I forgot the name of the place. Anyways, if you go to the place where they sell the ice cream, you're gonna ask for a scoop, you know. For example, I want 1 scoop or 2 scoop, 3 scoops, anyways. But the translation, I mean, in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, we call a bowl of ice cream, you know. So it's fine if you go, for example, if you are, you can imagine the situation, you know. We are an English student, you know, a beginner, and go to the ice cream shop there and ask for 2 bowls of ice cream. So it sounds really funny, you know. So she was saying this on the video, and it reminds me something, you know. I think she also say something on the video about this, and I'm going to say I had a colleague. He's Venezuelan, a nice guy, really nice guy, and he speaks English really well. I mean, his English is flawless, absolutely flawless. Although I remember he was having a problem pronouncing the word. Sometimes you see it, sometimes I made some mistakes as well. Who am I to say about someone else's mistake anyways? But the mistake he was saying was about the word focus, you know, focus, right? He couldn't pronounce focus. He was saying focus. And I mean, especially if you're working, you know, with people, with customers, you know, and and this word escaped from your mouth, and you ended up saying focus. That would sound really fun, I do believe most of English native speakers, they understand this. Yeah, they know it's an issue in our pronunciation. We're not a native speakers. So, but it's still very funny, and it reminded me something. Yeah, in the pub, I was working there. I was working in the pub, and I was collecting glasses. And I turned to one of the customers and I said, "Yeah, can I get some glasses? Some glasses." And I think he understood sunglasses. I think he understood actually what it meant. But I ended up, in the funny situation because they had 2 or 3 sunglasses on the table, and he said, "What? Do you want to take my sunglasses?" And they started laughing, and I felt so embarrassed. So anyway, so issues in pronunciation, as she said, it's amico. You don't need to feel ashamed. You don't need to feel embarrassed, and you should learn with these and move on. Anyways, so and now let's see something interesting about her. Okay, she's saying about her work as a translator, because I'm trying to speak low, and sometimes my voice, just anyways. So she's going to say that about her work as a translator to a Brazilian children's character called Galinha Pintadinha that I don't even know how to translate this in English. I have to find the name actually, because she was translating this from Portuguese to English. And so I have to find out how she's called in English, anyways. So Galinha Pintadinha means chicken, yeah. But a pintadinha because she has, the character has a lot of, I think, white spots, so white dots, or anyways, it's a blue chicken with white dots, anyways. So it's kind of funny. So let's see Jackie talking about this. Just go back a little bit, and here we go.
É uma coisa que eu estou curtindo demais. É uma coisa totalmente diferente. Eu nunca fiz nada parecida na minha vida.
Procurando pela internet, eu descobri que a Jacqueline era meio que um núcleo do... ouvi falar dela mais de uma vez.
Eles mandaram um e-mail para mim, perguntando se eu posso traduzir algumas músicas infantis.
A gente precisava mais do que uma tradutora, né? Então é bacana porque a Jack ela trouxe, além da parte técnica da tradução, das letras, ela trouxe a bagagem cultural dela, dos Estados Unidos, né? Que isso colaborou muito para que a tradução fosse uma tradução feita com mais carinho, assim.
Então eu fiz um teste com algumas músicas e comecei com umas 2 músicas e agora eu já fiz os primeiros 3 DVDs. Estamos terminando o 4º DVD e está indo super bem.
That's very interesting, because she's not only she learned enough to even work as a translator, as a translator, traductor, oh my goodness. Today my brain is not working. I'm gonna Google this, hold on, to see the difference, that you see, that's the way we learn, we have to go for it. I would like to see if translate, because we have Google Translate. I think translator is the kind of it's the profession, yeah. So according to Oxford Learners Dictionaries, a person who translates writing or speech into a different language, especially as a job. So yes, so she worked as a translator in this project of Galinha Pintadinha. Anyways, so that's it, guys. I'm recording this really late. I think it's almost, it's 2 a.m. So I'm recording this really late, but I don't complain. I like doing this. Hopefully I can edit it and upload this today. So as usual, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share with a friend, share with everyone. I'm really doing a really hard work putting subtitles sometimes in English and in Portuguese. I think I'm gonna do both, you know, because I have a lot of people asking me this, and I would like to thank everybody in all my social medias, you know, and everybody who is supporting, who is liking my videos and giving a very nice feedback. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you next video. Who knows? Yeah, who knows what's gonna be the next one? And for the part 3, I have to think, you know. Maybe I saw, actually I follow an YouTuber. He's French and he speaks Portuguese. I mean, but his accent, it's amazing, you know. He speaks Portuguese with a Brazilian accent. I mean, I almost can notice any trace of French accent, you know. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna do this, you know. Anyways, we'll see. And keep it up, okay? Stay tuned to my next videos as how is it faked, the next one. I think I have actually a very good feedback of this last how is it faked, and just to make things a little bit lighter or softer, I would like to do something fun. So maybe, you know, the next how is it faked is gonna be something more upbeat, more funny, not so scary. Anyway, so alright, that's it for today, guys. See you next video. Take care, kisses and hugs. Bye bye.